Hi, I'm Amadeus and this is Le Demi-Château, half a chateau fully lived in. Over the last weeks I rebuilt this room piece by piece. Floors up, herringbone down, and I opened 2 doorways, a double door and a single, and I closed another so the suite finally makes sense. I made a bed skirt, covered the headboard, brushed color along the Dado and surrounds. Today I am finished. I'm hanging the wallpaper, Poppy Trail Masquerade by Little Green, and styling the last details so the bedroom reads like home, not a spare room. It's a quiet reveal after a long stretch of work. I'll show you what changed, what I learned, and the corners I love most. Come on in, let's finish this. Good morning, everyone. It's a pain au chocolat kind of morning. It is horrible outside. Drinking my coffee. We'll eat my pain au chocolat. And then we'll start the day. It really feels like autumn now. And I can't wait to put the wallpaper on today. Oh, it's gonna be glorious. Come. By the way, if you're wondering, pain au chocolat, yes, it is vegan, and I buy it from Leclerc. You can find it sometimes, and it's in the section where you find all the other kind of ready-made breads. It's not fantastic, but from time to time, it just makes you feel good. We're back and I'm ready to roll with the wallpaper. And the thing is with the wallpaper, what you should always do is you should measure out where your panels will go. Because you always want in the corners to overlap a bit, but not too much, not too little. And I think I'd really like to start wallpapering with this wall because I think it's gonna be the simplest wall to start off. We want kind of like a 10 centimeter-ish overlap. And then you just try to measure up and try to already plan where sort of your wallpaper panels will land. I marked out all my points where I would start, and actually I have decided to move my whole setup 13 centimeters because it will just create a much more even and better overlap over the corners if I've calculated correctly. We'll set the laser level to that and start papering from there. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was quite scared of this point because I haven't done wallpaper in a very, very long time. So I watched a lot of videos. That's why I did all the measuring and everything. The next tip was to glue always more than the panel or the size of the panel so that you don't ever have to like touch up to the panel with glue. That just makes your life easier for going further. I've got my laser level set up and I'd say c'est parti!
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane.
Alright, here is a quick update of how it's looking so far. It's so beautiful and it's really easy actually after my first fight to put it. So what I can only recommend to anyone is to look at the pattern before putting it up, and then I've been always looking at the pattern which way where I need to connect it, and then I already knew how to get on with the pattern. Like this you're much better prepared than actually being on the wall and trying to fiddle. It's much better, I believe me. As I was just about to get ready to film after lunch, the post office arrived and I had to go down. So now we're coming up to this bit, and this shall be very interesting. I'm kind of scared, to be honest.
Hand in hand, building castles out of sand, reaching for the grand. This willow's alive.
to lie to you, this whole corner situation was a nightmare to make. But it's just the walls of the old house. It's nothing to do with the wallpaper. The wallpaper itself puts it's on so easily, as you could see already. I mean, like it transforms the room. Oh my gosh, you guys! I just have this bit left, and then also the window alcove. I need to put the top, and then we'll be done. It looks so gorgeously beautiful. Oh my god, it's exactly like I imagined. I'm not gonna lie, this last bit. Oh, my neck. Oh, gosh. I'll just quickly tidy up, and then I'll talk to you about some bits and bobs that I still need to do in the room before we can do the final finishing touches this video. Quick hoover, and I think what I want to do before I continue is bring in my big wardrobe, because like this it's already in, because it's been sitting outside, and I think it's time that it goes back to the bedroom. And I think it's gonna be a good start for decorating. It's just incredible. I mean, I will show you everything in a bit. It's just, I think we need to start like putting things in, and you'll just hang on a second here. But it's just fabulous. It's just, it leveled this room up like 1,000,000%. We've come to the stage where we're starting adding details to the room, little finishes that make everything go round and that make everything feel lived in, but at the same time make it also feel as if it has been here a very long time. That's not the wisest to film up against the window, but I find at the beginning I was reluctant with those velvet curtains, but I find that they're fitting in quite well. I will make curtains out of this fabric as well, just to have the option. And this morning what I also did is I lined up more paper to actually fit behind the piping, and I also painted the piping in ashes of roses. Like this, you have a very cohesive look when you're looking from here. I've had to wait for a nightstand that I ordered online to come and arrive, and once it got here, that was yesterday, I built it up and we could start styling the place. I cannot believe that we've come so far, and sometimes all it takes is just to put in some pictures, some books, just your personal items to make a space come alive. It's all in the details, like wallpapering the light switch, like adding the little details over the thresholds, adding all these little touches to it, and adjusting the colors. Brings it all together and makes it come alive. And what I absolutely adore is that Alexia actually told me something that I did not consider until then, is that the color scheme and everything feels very natural for this area. And it's actually very, very true. Somehow in the back of my mind, I had all these places that I had seen around here that were historic, and kind of pulled colors from there, subconsciously, I think. But I really love how this has turned out. The green is deep, but at the same time it plays with the light. You have that beautiful wallpaper that's very busy, but at the same time it feels like a cocoon, and it's calming at night, because when it's a bit darker, everything gets blurred a bit, and it makes the room just feel so cozy and so intentional. This big, bold print of the poppies just makes the room like an artwork, basically, that you walk in. I can't believe that we have done all of this. We have come this far from just like ripping everything out of this room, ripping out the old floor, redoing the floor, then opening up a new doorway and opening up a second doorway, actually, to a bedroom that I have hardly used until now, suddenly turning it into something that I will use. And keep in mind that the winter salon, or the petit salon, however you want to call it, the living room adjacent to this room, is not ready at all. I still need to renovate, or keep on renovating or decorating this room. We still need to do a lot more, so there will be a lot more content coming for the salon and also the corridor. But the bedroom is officially finished and I've already been sleeping a few nights in here and I just find it so cozy and nice. So up until this point, Anita used to sleep on the big couch that was opposite my bed. But since that couch is now in the living room, I put this little crapaud here with the little blanket that is hers, and so she can have her place to sleep here. What also makes the room feel more alive is actually little details like hooks and just those beautiful, beautiful details of the handles, of the door handles, to just make it much more intentional. If you pay respect to the little things, that's where actually spaces come alive, become lived in. And that's what I wanted to turn this space into. I wanted this space to feel like it has always been inside the chateau, like it never changed. And I think especially using like a bold print like this kind of is reminiscent of a very Baroque wallpaper, but with a modern twist. So although it does look like it has always been here, at the same time it looks, I think, kind of timeless. And I know that it's very personal to taste, and some of you don't like the green and the contrast with the ashes roses kind of tone, but I just find that this creates a lot of interest and a lot of depth inside the room using those contrasting colors. What you also saw is how I put up the second layer of curtains, and I think this gives it this kind of like old home vibe. I think I want to do that as well on the living room side and just put like a see-through linen curtain in front, and like this you always have this diffused light. You have the option to have full light when you open up, but then you always have the option to diffuse the light, which I find is really beautiful, especially for a bedroom. I almost don't dare to sit down, I just prepared the bed so nicely. I found a bed set that is ruffled and it's so pretty. It's from H&M Home and it wasn't even like super expensive. And we have come to the end of this video, you guys. I cannot say thank you enough to Little Green for providing me with this beautiful paint and paper. I think what this episode showed you, or what this episode, or what this whole kind of endeavor in the last 8 weeks have showed you, is that you can do so much on your own. And I think you've just got to trust the process. I think there's nothing you cannot learn, especially when it comes to renovating or changing your home. I think it's just about being daring and being open, and even using just small things like wallpaper and paint can change your room significantly, because I think that's what made this room come to life. Thank you again, Little Green. I am absolutely at a loss of words. If you want to keep on watching about the renovation, I think we're going to loosen up the next few weeks a bit with days in my life, weeks in my life, with renovations. I think I just want to slow down a bit, because now that I have my bedroom and I can sleep down here, I can sort of slowly get to the point where also my renovations or the makeovers are not as dirty anymore. So I think we can just like slow down a bit and just enjoy as well a bit and go back to a rhythm that is a bit slower, because I've been non-stop renovating for the last 8 weeks without a single day of rest. If you want even more insights, there's my Patreon that already starts at €2.50. Other than that, please subscribe, like, hype the video. And I shall see you next week for another episode. All that is left to say is à bientôt et au revoir from the southwest of France. Bisous and bye!